7 years ago, I disappeared from my family's life. Not because I hated them, but because staying was destroying me. Every family gathering ended the same way. Someone would blame me for something I didn't do. Someone would compare me to my siblings. Someone would remind me that I would never be good enough. If I stayed quiet, I was rude. If I defended myself, I was disrespectful. No matter what I did, I lost. For years, I begged for love. For years, I tried to earn approval that never came. Then one night, after another painful argument, I packed a single suitcase. I left my apartment keys on the kitchen counter, blocked every phone number, changed my email, moved hundreds of miles away. I didn't leave a letter. I didn't explain. I simply vanished. People called me selfish, but they never saw the tears that filled my pillow every night. Starting over wasn't easy. I worked 2 jobs, lived in a tiny apartment, had no friends, no family, only peace. Slowly, life became brighter. I built a career, made a home, found people who loved me without conditions. Then, exactly 7 years later, at 2:17 in the morning, my phone buzzed. One voicemail, then another, then another. When the notifications finally stopped, there were 43 of them, all left in a single night. My hands trembled as I stared at the screen, because after 7 years of silence, my family suddenly had something they desperately needed to say. I couldn't sleep. The phone sat on the table like it was waiting for me. At sunrise, I finally pressed play. The first voicemail was from my younger brother. His voice cracked as he spoke. "Please call us back." The second was from my aunt. "We've been looking for you." The third came from a cousin I hadn't spoken to in years. "We're sorry." Each message sounded more desperate than the last. Some people cried. Some apologized. Some simply repeated my name over and over. I listened to all 42 messages without moving. Then came the last one. Voicemail number 43. It was my grandmother. Her voice was weak but gentle. "If you're hearing this, it may be my last chance. I know you left because you were hurting. But before I leave this world, I need you to know the truth." The message ended before she could finish. I replayed it 3 times. What truth? Why now? After 7 years, why had everyone suddenly reached out on the same night? I knew there was only one way to find out. I packed a bag and started driving home. The family home looked smaller than I remembered. The garden was overgrown. The porch light flickered. It felt as though time itself had stopped. When I knocked, the door opened almost immediately. My sister stood there. For a second, she simply stared. Then she burst into tears and hugged me tightly. Inside, the atmosphere was completely different from the home I remembered. No shouting, no criticism, only silence. Everyone looked older, tired. Regret seemed to fill every corner of the room. Then I saw my grandmother sitting by the window. She smiled the moment she saw me. "I knew you'd come," she whispered. I knelt beside her chair. She held my hand tightly. "I've been waiting 7 years to tell you something." The room became silent. Every family member lowered their head. Whatever she was about to say, they already knew, and they were ashamed. Grandmother slowly reached for an old wooden box. Inside were dozens of letters. Each one had my name written on it. "I wrote these every year after you left," she said. "But your parents begged me not to send them." My heart stopped. "What?" She nodded sadly. "They told everyone you wanted nothing to do with us. They changed phone numbers. They hid your address whenever someone found it. They wanted people to believe you abandoned the family." Tears filled my eyes. For 7 years, I believed no one cared enough to look for me. But inside the box were birthday cards, Christmas letters, photographs, messages from cousins, notes from relatives asking where I was. They had all been kept from me. My grandmother looked at my parents. They thought controlling the story would protect their pride. But all it did was destroy this family. No one denied it. No one could. Later that evening, my grandmother asked everyone to leave the room. Only the 2 of us remained. She smiled softly. The 43 voicemails weren't planned. I looked confused. She continued. "The doctors told me I had very little time left. So I gathered everyone together. I told them they could spend the rest of their lives protecting their pride, or spend one night telling you the truth." One by one, they picked up the phone. Some apologized for staying silent. Others admitted they believed lies without asking questions. Even my father confessed he had let his ego destroy our relationship. My grandmother squeezed my hand. The 43rd voicemail was mine. Because I needed you to hear one thing. You were never unwanted. You were deeply loved. The tears I had held back for 7 years finally fell. Not because the pain disappeared, but because the loneliness I carried was built on a lie. A week later, my grandmother passed away peacefully. At her funeral, every family member stood together in silence. For the first time, no one argued. No one blamed anyone else. Before the service ended, the lawyer read one final letter she had left behind. It said, "Families don't break because of one mistake. They break because too many people stay silent. If love exists, speak it before it's too late." Those words changed all of us. I didn't erase the past. Some scars remain forever. But I stopped letting them define my future. I rebuilt relationships slowly, one conversation at a time, one visit at a time, one act of honesty at a time. Today, the 43 voicemails are still saved on my phone. I listen to them every year, not to remember the pain, but to remember that healing often begins with a single call. And sometimes, the family you thought had forgotten you has been waiting years for the courage to finally tell you the truth.
Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you never miss a new emotional story. Your support means more than words can say, and it helps us continue bringing these untold stories to life.